Well, hello again. So, we've a new movie coming out called The Woman King, and it stars Viola Davis and John Boyega and Lasagna Lynch. Thanks, Az from Hill vs. Babyface. I can never unhear that name. He calls her Lasagna Lynch. And it just kind of sticks. It really does. Uh, what is her actual bloody name again? Uh, Lashana Lynch. Lashana. But I think we'll all keep calling her Lasagna. So anyway, this movie's coming out, and Viola Davis has once again shown the world how not to promote a movie. As she has come out and said that if audiences don't go to see The Woman King, they are supporting the narrative that black women cannot lead the box office globally. Okay. So, another thing to be take into account of this is it's getting huge praise from critics. It's at a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, which has come down. It was 100%. Then they got one bad review and it went to 98, and now they got one more and it's now 97%. So all of this, and just heaps of praise, but all of this is just so funny. So, according to star Viola Davis, an audience member who declines to financially support The Woman King and see the film in theaters is supporting the narrative that black women cannot lead the box office. Right. So, what about Dreamgirls? Remember that movie? That came out. That was successful. Quite successful. What about films like Sister Act and Sister Act 2? And even Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. They were all led by a woman and well received, very well liked, and quite successful. What about probably one of the most famous ones of them all? The Color Purple. What about that movie? That came out and was just like awards here and there and just absolutely doted over. And still is super, super praised. What about another movie that came out and was super praised back in '09? Precious. Remember that movie? Probably don't. But it was a big one at the time. What about Monsters Ball? Halle Berry. What about that? That was not just successful, but that was another award-winning movie. What about Hidden Figures? That came out. That was huge. What about Jordan Peele's Us? What about that one? That was led by a woman. What about The Bodyguard? That was another one. How about Jackie Brown? Jackie Brown was another one. What about Girls Trip? It wasn't successful. Some critics liked it. Some people did like it. Not sure if it made money back in that. I saw it. I thought it was god awful, but that was a all black female cast. Like, it came out. It happened. What about that one? What about The Hate You Give? Do we need to keep going there, Viola? You know what I mean? So anyway, this is her argument. So here's what the film is. The film is set in a historical African kingdom of Dohami. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Which is now modern day Benin. Benin. These are African places, so forgive the pronunciation of these things. And the movie opens in the 1820s. The tribe and stuff is real. Okay? Just understand that. They were real people, a real tribe, real place. Except for Viola Davis's character. Her General Nasia, I think is how you pronounce her name. Her character is not real. She never existed. But the likes of John Boyega's king, he did. But here's who this tribe actually were. So, despite the real world Dohami kingdom having heavily participated in the era's Atlantic slave trade, slavers would regularly take humans from neighbouring tribes by way of war or specifically targeted restocking raids and either selling them off to the Europeans or keeping them as personal property, with the practice only coming to an end thanks to the intervention of the British Navy. But then we've got reviews of the soon-to-be released film indicate that the Woman King will handle the subject by depicting its protagonist, General Nasia, as a leading voice in the opposition of the practice. So they're trying to paint this woman in this tribe as a hero, as, oh no, we need to stop it. This actual tribe that this movie is based on were the worst of the worst when it came to being slavers. The worst of the worst. For all the African Americans that talk about their ancestors being ripped away from their homeland and brought across the oceans to the New World, these were the tribes that sold those ancestors to the white man to be brought across that ocean. This is the tribe. This movie is probably going to try and paint it out to be, oh, you know, they were bad, but, you know, they kind of saw the errors of their ways. They're going to hype this thing up to be such empowerment and stuff. These were the real slave traders. You know, the white man did not just walk into Africa and start lassoing black folk and going, yeah, you'll do. I'll take 3 of them ones. No, they were sold to them by other black tribes. And this particular tribe was the biggest one in doing it. The king was even known as the Slave King. So, Viola Davis was talking with Tyrone Edwards, who is a Canadian entertainment talk show host from a show called E-Talk. And apparently he was talking with Lasagna Lynch. And he says to Viola, I was talking to your co-star, Lasagna Lynch. Fuck it, let's just keep calling her Lasagna. And she said, you know, I'm tired of these black movies just being a moment. And for some reason, she felt like this isn't just a moment. This can be the new normal going forward. That wasn't what I planned to ask you today, he says. But that just really resonated with me, he added, before turning the question to Davis. What do you think about that in terms of moving forward and making this normal? Because this carpet feels different to me, and I've been doing this for a while. And Viola responds to this by saying, absolutely, I completely 100% agree. However, she did have one a little problem with this. But here's the thing. I'm going to add to that. It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie. Yeah, let's just blackmail your audience. Huh? Okay, she continues, because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. Hollywood is interested in green money, just in case anyone didn't understand that. It just is. It is what I do. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead at the box office globally. Do we need to go back and list all those other movies? Do we? I can throw one more in there. What's love got to do with it? The Tina Turner story. You are supporting the narrative, and if you want to normalize it, come see the same way you would, get this, Black Panther, Iron Man, Spider-Man, any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it. Jesus Christ. Oh. You want to get to some of the reviews? Because the reviews are funny as well. Here's the first one, right? What we really want to see is an athletic Viola Davis wielding a curved blade and vanquishing her foes. And when we see her in action, the Woman King is bloody marvellous. Does this guy think he is bloody Uncle Benny from Lethal Weapon? I'm bloody marvellous. Fried rice, you plick. This one comes from the Washington Post. Viola Davis owns The Woman King, a movie every bit as majestic and monumental as its title implies. Wow. Grace Randolph is in here. So phenomenal. Strong awards contender for sure. A complex film with both great action and compelling drama. It doesn't shy away from the horrors of slavery and Africa's part in those atrocities. Probably the role of Davis's career, surrounded by a stellar cast. So to say Lasagna or Grace Randolph likes it would be a bit of an understatement. And we have another one. The Woman King is a winning combination of drama and thrilling action. Here was the first bad review that popped in. It says, surface level feminist subtext gives The Woman King a pass to indulge the same conventional cliches as other films of its ilk. But the formulaic action and predictable storytelling beats are now in service of a lot of Disney-fied girl boss energy. Ooh. This one, I love this one because it just shows how you didn't even research who these people were before you saw the film. This film has a fire in its belly, but more importantly, it also has heart full of love, love of life, love of freedom, love of black people and culture, and love of its furious, compelling, brave women. They were the biggest slave traders in the world. Jesus Christ. Oh God. What's the only other bad review that came in? At least I think it is. I'll check the next page. But it's another bad one. Anyway, says could have used less of the third melodrama that clutters up so many other period pieces, which just sounds like it's a bit slow and kind of meandering, and then probably just filled with horse shit that never happened and whatnot. Uh, and here's another one. Entertainment Weekly. A spirited and often thrilling action epic, elevated by the regal, rigorous commitment of star Viola Davis. So they're just overpraising this thing, not really realizing who these people were and the fact that her character never existed. Was not a real person. But then you have the whole narrative of, well, if you don't go see this movie, you're just saying black women in particular can't be leads in movies. And yet we've just listed off a shit ton of movies led by black women that were all super successful. Really is how not to promote a movie. And for all you shills going out there and wanting to just praise this thing just because it stars black people, do your goddamn research beforehand. Particularly if you're going to say it's full of love for families and black people and freedom. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers. Catch you in the next one.